What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, February 13th, 2023. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all very much. Hope you're doing well after that weekend we just had. It was all sorts of intense and kind of sporadic in its own, right. It was a lot. So very heavy energy. And Monday definitely brings, some more of that heaviness. We're going to see the moon finishing up here in Scorpio, and it's going to square the sun in Aquarius. It's also going to square Saturn just a few hours later. So full moon squaring a detriment sun in Aquarius, and then squaring Sky Daddy Saturn home, finishing up here in Aquarius for the final time until, we see the Saturn in Aquarius, which will be 28 and a half years, but really it'll be strong again in Saturn, 24 years from now too. So pretty, definitely coming to some big conclusions. Saturn's teaching us some lessons, of course. We're having to let go. We can form a lot of attachments, a lot of strong bonds, just throughout our journey in life. And we might get tested on this Monday about how we can detach. The sun in Aquarius is saying, hey, we got to move forward. We got to look into the future. We got to be able to connect. We got to find common ground. And the moon in Scorpio is definitely honed in and very passionate and wants the, ultimate connection. That's where Scorpio and Aquarius are, in square, of course. Scorpio wants to hold on and keep the passion and keep the intensity up, and Aquarius will peace out when things get too stuck in one place, if you will. Aquarius is one of the more interesting fixed signs, in my opinion, because it's kind of fixated on moving forward and going into the future and changing things up. So we're having to really look at our life, our personal life here, and say, what is the best things I can hold on to, especially with a North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus? What are the best things I can take from my experience here that is part of where I'm going? And how do I move forward with those things? But there's certain aspects of life that could come up and be very apparent today because they're kind of just repetitive cycles. They're, the lessons are learned, the alchemy has been done. This is kind of that boom, okay, transformation complete, especially with the South Node here in Scorpio. And remember, we're going to see that ingress coming into the summertime with the South Node and the North Node moving into Aries and Libra. So it does feel like we're at this kind of final place here, and especially remember, Pluto's now at 29 Capricorn, so that's adding this other layer of our destiny, of our Mount Capricorn, mission, is that not everything can make it to the top of the mountain. So we're getting a good look at that. What's going to make it? What's not going to make it? How do we let go? We have to stay forward moving here. All the planets are direct. The more forward you can stay, the better. And the vision is very important too. That moon's going to make great aspects with a trine over to Venus and a trine over to Neptune, and Venus and Neptune are getting very close to their conjunction, with Venus at 21 degrees and Neptune at 20. It might have come to 24. I'm going to look real quick. It is. It just came to 24 degrees. I thought so. So Neptune's coming to 24 degrees today too. So we're also seeing Neptune move back off that 23rd degree and into that 24th. And this is good. We're starting to see consciousness move forward too here. And we're learning that we can get so... We want to be invested and honed in on our intuition. We want to see the beauty in the depths. We have to go into dark places to come out with more light and to come in and move forward and innovate. And, it can bring shocking things when we have to go into that space, but there's also a level of compassion, and that'll help create any kind of win-win situation. That'll help see things from a higher perspective. It can definitely bring any level of compassion that we might need, because there is this intensity today where, we could see where we feel abandoned or betrayed in some way in our life. And we have to look at things from a better perspective than just, pointing the finger, pointing the blame. We got to take ownership, and that's especially with Pluto at 29 Capricorn and the North Node at 6 degrees now of Taurus. We have to take ownership of our life. We have to take responsibility for our life. And instead of, blaming intensity or blaming things on another person, we have to realize that all things have a time limit, and that's where the moon struggles in Scorpio. The moon just wants everything to be comfortable and feel good all the time. And in Scorpio, it's a good, hard, truthful look at comfort doesn't last forever. Nothing lasts forever on this plane. Everything comes and goes. beginnings and endings. And especially with the moon squaring Saturn after that third quarter square to the sun, which is definitely trying to revolutionize, I guess, the certain, bonds that we have in life, to realize what's moving forward, what's not, and to be okay with endings. And we have to be accepting of that in our life. And that can be really hard because it can be things that we can be very, very emotionally attached to, or people that we're emotionally attached to, or connections that we could see, we're seeing the alchemy change in all of us, and we're seeing where the frequencies resonate. And the moon squares Saturn, that teaches us, again, these harder lessons that Aquarius has to teach us too. And it does take the emotion out of it. So this extremely sensitive moon in Scorpio that is so honed in on the emotion and the feeling, and it's feeling everything, especially with the trine to Neptune and even Venus, about security, relationships, compassion, bringing the big picture in and honing in on that sense. But Saturn's really teaching us there's a cold, hard, look at these things. You have to really get into your intellect, but you don't want to disconnect from the heart by any means here. But it is an interest, and I think that's where the Pisces, with Neptune and Venus, that is some serious heart energy coming together, right? And they're going to be conjuncting right around Valentine's Day, Tuesday. Right as the sun is really starting to meet with Saturn, so it's very interesting. Like, we're having to take some serious looks at things in our life right now, and really know what we're attaching ourselves to, and be okay with detaching or being non-attached to situations and outcomes, because it's a sensitive place right here, and we can be so open with our hearts that we can be so vulnerable to the feelings of abandonment, betrayal, loss, and feeling, like, wow, I'm missing something. But today's a good look to remember you're not missing anything. You're perfectly whole. Things come and go. That's just part of the journey. And the more okay you can be with just any way that a death of something can come in life, to any variety of things, to be okay and to move forward, and to see that there's so much more journey on the horizon. There's so much more to identify, to explore, to learn, to grow. And that's the process here on this trip through Aquarius. And today brings hard lessons in that. It's not easy, but there is an easiness to it, because it kind of comes through the surrender. It comes through the letting go. And that is where we can get away from attachments, when we say, okay, you know what? This isn't meant to be in my life. And I take ownership and responsibility, and I can, come to that high place within myself and let go and surrender that no matter what left, it's only making room for more. And I think that's the important thing to remember, is that we are just getting started. As much as it seems like we've been here and doing the work for so long, we're just getting started. We're about to see Pluto in a new sign for 20 years. Like, we're on the cusp of huge change. So the more okay you can be and surrender and let God take the wheel, everything is going to be okay. But we're going to get tested with our attachments today, and how well we can let go, and how well we can detach emotionally to see that it's really not making sense to where we want to go, or where we know we need to go, or to this big peak of a mountain in our life. But realizing that it's not about whatever it might be that we have this exterior connection or bond to. It's like, how well can you bond to yourself, and to know that you're whole, you're secure, you're good, and the universe will always bring you what you need if you feel that way. So that's the lesson today, and that can be, it can be difficult for some, and for others this can, definitely realize that we're right on the brink of some really big moves in our life, and that, just that in itself can feel extremely exciting and very good, actually, at the same time. So it's a Monday. I'll be honest with you guys. It's a Monday. And yeah, the moon will come into Sag this evening, and it will make a quick, pretty late, probably about midnight, 1 a.m. on the West Coast. We're going to see the moon make its sextile over to Mercury in Aquarius at 3 degrees. So, and we are starting to see that Mercury get ready to make its sextile over to Jupiter. So there is positive coming. There is, like, wow, a big picture, getting ready to be revealed and understood, and things aren't going to feel as intense or harsh, but they definitely can today. And just see the beauty in life. Even the trauma has its beauty, and sometimes we fail as humans to understand and to see that every lesson has its purpose and its beauty built into it. So yeah, we have to come from a liberating place within ourselves where we can find that understanding, and not let things get us, too down, because there's definitely aspects of today that can want to, we can want to bury ourselves, and it's like, we're not dead. Like, we're very alive. So keep going. Don't bury yourself at all right now. All right, let's see what's in these cards today. Hangman reversed. Yeah, I think that we are getting an understanding that we are coming to this, like, wow, you know what? I did get the download. I do have this bigger, more enlightened perspective on life, and I'm not as hung up as I think I am. It's gonna feel like something in life is trying to get you strung up, hung up on something, and make you feel lost. And you're not. You're fine. It's just like sometimes we have to sit with something and then we have to move on. So it's realizing that we got to get out of the situations that keep us stuck and hung up, because that's, part of our journey, of our own little personal enlightenment journey as well. King of Cups. I think this is good because it shows emotional maturity, and we're going to need emotional maturity today, big time. We're going to have to be able to sit on our throne of our emotions, take responsibility for our emotions, and really take the ownership of them. It's not like we're not supposed to feel. We're going to feel, but we have to take personal responsibility for our feelings, and that will put us at a very exalted place in ourselves, which will help us make any adjustment necessary, or any relationship change, or any just seeing of a more beautiful life that we want to feel and experience. We got to take that ownership and that rulership of our emotions, and that'll be so helpful, and it'll get us out of being, any stuck situation. And the Eight of Wands in reverse. I mean, this is the thing. It's like we might just want quick fixes, things to happen fast and make the change, but it doesn't always work that way. I feel like things are going to be happening slower, and we will have to sit with something. This is definitely a sit with something day and come to terms with it. It's not like I think that there is a level of like, oh, I'll just bypass it, but at the same time, with the sun coming to 25 degrees and Saturn at 27 Aquarius, we're in Sun-Saturn balsamic phase here. Like, bypassing isn't going to get us far, and that's where, I would say Venus and Neptune conjunct in Pisces are like, yeah, it's fine, everything's fine. And the moon trining that can bring a level of fine, because that's the honest truth, is it is fine. No matter what the situation, it is fine. But that doesn't mean that we want to bypass the emotion. The emotion is helpful no matter what it is. It's teaching us, and it's going to give us more authority when we come to terms with it. So it's definitely not the bypass of something and looking for a quick fix or a quick out. This is like we actually have to really do the work. If we need to do the work today, the inner work, then let's do the inner work. Don't bypass that, and it'll help you get much farther as we move forward, because the moon is going to come into Sag, and it is going to uplift us a little bit. And yeah, on Valentine's Day, it's going to oppose Mars and Sun Saturn. So it is what it is, right? We have to go through these things, but there's also a positive side to every side. So it's important to be hermetic and see all sides, all angles, but still deal with the important feelings that we have, because they are opening our heart the more we can feel those emotions, and that's very important too. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Monday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.